Hey, so in today's video, I want to take you back around 7 or 8 years now, back to when I was still working full-time in a day job and trying to get my business off the ground, and how I actually got to the point where I was earning $10,000 a month while working full-time. If you're in that position right now, you're trying to get your business going, but you've got a day job and you're wondering how to juggle that, I want to share with you my top 5 tips for how I was able to make that transition and then able to grow our company to where it is today. Let's get into it. So firstly, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Penberthy. I'm the founder of AdClients.com, where we help you create, launch, and scale your business on the internet, and I'm pleased you are here. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification. We put out a couple new videos like this every single week. So I know there's a lot of people in our community that are in that spot right there, where you are working a day job, you're working full-time, you've got probably family commitments and a bunch of stuff that you're juggling, all the while you're desperate to get this business off the ground. There is something that you're excited about, you want to be able to earn that income, and you're struggling to juggle, you know, that whole thing. You're struggling to know when the transitional period should be to jump from working full-time into trying to grow your business, at the same time. One thing that I want to preface that's very important in the beginning is that I do not suggest that you try and make that jump where you say, do you know what? I don't have enough time in my day. I want to get this business going. I'm going to leave my job. I'm going to take that leap of faith. I'm going to leave my job, leave that security, and then I'm all in on this business. As much as I admire the courage and the boldness to do that, it's actually a pretty stupid idea. And the reason it's a stupid idea is, firstly, you've eliminated any security that you had to be able to cover your bills and things like that. But secondly, you're now building your business out of desperation. You're not building it out of excitement and passion. Now you're like, oh my gosh, this thing has to work. And every day that goes by that it's not working, which, by the way, there's a reason why, there's such a high failure rate in starting a business, because it's really freaking hard, and hardly anyone actually gets to the point where it's producing an income that's reliable, let alone grow a company. There have been some very specific parts of my journey that's allowed us to do it, and I feel incredibly blessed, but I'm under no misillusion that 99% of people that try are just not able to do it. It's very, very challenging. So as much as that's a bold move and it's an exciting move, you're building this out of desperation now, and you're actually building out of desperation something that most people fail to do, and now you don't have the structure of a salary to fall back on. So anyway, I don't suggest you do that. You do have to find the time around your job to get the thing moving. So that's a very, very important part of this context before we dive into my 5 tips. So here's the first one. You have to pick a topic that you're trying to build your business around that you are genuinely passionate about and excited about. This is key. Because if you're just trying to build a business on the side that is just to make some money, if you're trying to build a side hustle, if you're trying to just earn a bit of extra income because your day job doesn't pay you enough, and it's all about just making some money, then any business that you try, you will find it very difficult to wake up in the morning and actually put the time and effort into it that is necessary to even have a hope of it working. Whereas if you're actually passionate about it and excited about what you're trying to build, you do have a slightly greater chance of it actually working, because you'll be wanting to put the time into it. So I can't stress that enough. You've got to find something that you're passionate about. If you're watching this right now and you have a skill set in your head that you have learned and acquired over many, many years, if you're an expert in a certain field, if there's something that just lights you up, a hobby that you think other people would be willing to pay to learn, it's got to be one of those things. It can't be, I'm going to get into affiliate marketing just because it's going to help me create an income, but I'm not excited by the products that I'm promoting. I really think you'll find it difficult to get that off the ground. The second thing, and this is hugely important, is that you don't get stuck in learning phase. If you're working your full-time job, as I was, and by the way, I was a chef. So not only was I working full-time, I was working just extraordinary hours. I'd be getting up early in the morning to prepare for our lunch service. Lunch would finish at about 2 or 3, I'd have a 2-hour or 3-hour break that we called a split shift. And then I would jump back in the kitchen from 5 o'clock to prepare for dinner service, and then we'd get home about midnight. And so my time to work on my business was usually between about 11 or midnight until about 2 or 3. I'd get 4 hours sleep, and then I'm back up in the morning to get back in the kitchen. And then if I was really, really dedicated that particular day, then I might take my laptop to work, and then on my split shift, I'd find a little corner of the kitchen or the restaurant and try and do a bit more work there. So we have got these little chunks of time, and we have to be very, very careful with what we are filling that time with. And so for me, it was a case of I found myself falling into a trap that I think other people do, which is you get stuck in learning phase. And you will purchase an online training that's going to teach you how to drive traffic, or you're going to purchase a software that's going to show you how to build a sales funnel, and you're going to purchase some coaching and this, that, and the other. And then you're watching this training and you're consuming these tutorials, and your brain is saying, we're working on our business. But actually nothing's getting implemented. And I realized that I was going for months on end where I'm not actually implementing, I'm just learning. I would check in at 11 o'clock when I get home from the kitchen, and I would watch 2 hours or 3 hours of tutorials and video lessons, and I'd go, okay, great, I've furthered my business, I've learned those skills, and then I'd go to sleep. Wake up in the morning, next day, catch up where I left off with the training. Before you know it, we're a month deep into training, and I go, oh, I wonder if I should re-watch the first module because maybe things have changed now. And I just get stuck in this trap. You have to take imperfect action. You just have to make sure that you learn and implement, because if you get stuck in learning phase, that is what's going to keep you where you may feel right now that you are a year or two into wanting to start your business and you haven't really got anything off the ground. Learning phase is a trap that you need to avoid. The third thing is doubling down your attention and your action on one or two things that are going to help produce results. Let me share something with you that is really, really important. This is you. And you have had this idea that you're really excited about, and you know it's going to be able to make you some money. It's something you're passionate about. That looks a little bit like a weird hat. I've connected the lines. I probably shouldn't have done that. So you got your $ hat on. You're ready to go. Let's even just like complete the look. There we go. So you're ready to go. You're ready to start this business. And now what happens is you've got, let's say, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways that you could grow this business. You watched one training and they said, you need to be on Facebook. So you jumped onto Facebook. Someone else said, no, you've got to be on YouTube. Someone else said, hey, you've got to make sure that you're going live on Facebook. That's something else that you've got to do. You've got to actually go live, otherwise no one's going to see it. And then you've got a blog. Let's not forget a blog. We've got to put some content out there. We've got to get some articles going. Someone else said about LinkedIn. So you're like, okay, well, I'll get into LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. There's all these things that people are saying that you need to do. And even if you get out of the learning phase and into the implementation phase, what you can then get stuck in is spreading yourself too thin. If you have 10 things that you're trying to do, if every day to grow this business, you're posting on YouTube, posting on Facebook, trying to run paid ads, trying to do free traffic, trying to build connections, going to networking events, if you're trying to do all this stuff, do you understand that you're actually only giving each thing 10% of your time, energy, and attention? Every single one is getting 10%. Do you understand how silly this sounds when we paint this picture? 10%. Now, who has ever built a successful business on 10% effort? Yet, for you to build this business on this platform, it's getting 10%. For you to build this business on this platform, it's getting 10%. Same with this. What you need to do is you need to decide for this offer, where is the most likely place that I could pick up customers or clients for that business, and let's double down. If that's Facebook, then get rid of all this other distraction and focus your time, energy, and attention right here. And don't focus it anywhere else, because now Facebook is going to get 100% of your attention, and you're going to have a far greater shot at getting this business to be profitable if you double down like that, as opposed to spreading 10% over everything. So I hope that makes sense, and that's really important. So find the one or perhaps the two things or the two platforms that would be the best fit and just double down. The fourth thing is that you should implement this thing called time chunking. Now, I'm not actually as good at this now as I was back in the beginning of my journey, because it was far more important that I did it then to get this thing off the ground, but it's still important now and I just forget. But when I was looking back to like the things that I was doing when I was very strapped for time, is I would chunk the time that I've got. Let's say I've got 3 hours, between, getting back from work and then going to bed, I've got 3 hours. I'm chunking that up into 6 blocks of 30 minutes. And within that block, I'm making a written to-do list of what I need to achieve in that next 30 minutes. And this was saving me from letting 30 minutes go by and all I've done is watch more training and getting stuck in that learning phase. So I know in this chunk of time, I'm going to make that post on Facebook because that's the platform I'm doubling down on, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I've got to send that email, I want to do it, and I'm making my list. And I would even set a timer, a 30-minute timer, so that when that goes off, I can then see how productive have I been in that 30 minutes. And if I haven't ticked off that list, I feel the weight of that. Now I move that list over and add a few things ready for the next 30 minutes. And it's a really helpful way to chunk the time that you've got and make sure you're actually being productive. If you just get home from work, you're tired, you're stressed, but you're trying to build a business, you've got 2 or 3 hours in the evening, you could so easily sit in that chair in your home office, look at that screen, and 3 hours will go like that, and you won't know what you've accomplished. So time chunking and to-do lists in each chunk is really important. And the fifth and final thing is the one that is not going to be as encouraging for you, but it is very important. In the beginning, you've just got to do what you need to do to get this thing off the ground. There's no comfortable way to start a business. There really isn't. When I was growing this business, I wasn't just going out and partying. In fact, that's never really been a part of what I've done. I just didn't do it. While my friends are out partying and doing all that, like I'm focusing. I was getting this business off the ground. Right? When people are sleeping, I was awake. When people needed 8 hours sleep, I was getting 4. Like I was doing this stuff. Now I'm not saying that getting 4 hours of sleep a night is healthy and reliable. I'm giving an example of the things that I used to do to get this thing off the ground. I got into the webinar game at one point. We still do now very heavily. But when I first got into webinars, my ideal customers were over in the US. And the perfect time for a webinar back in the day was 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I would start my webinars at 2 in the morning. It was outrageous. I would start at 2, I'd finish at 4, and then I'd get up again tomorrow to do all the other stuff, and then I'd do webinars again. Like I remember sometimes going to bed at 10 to try and get 3 hours sleep to wake myself up at 1 to prepare for the webinar and do it and go back to bed. Like these are the things that you have to do. And let me point something out that is very important at this moment in time. If that doesn't suit you, that's okay. One thing that really grates me is people putting this unbelievable amount of pressure on people to like, if you want to start a business, you've got to do what needs to be done. For some people, they're just not cut out for it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's why a small percentage of people actually succeed in this entrepreneurial game, because we are kind of insane. And there are moments where I would love going back to a regular monthly paycheck, and those thoughts always cross your mind. We are insane people for wanting to do what we do. And not everyone is cut out for that, and that really is okay. So if that is something that you're not able to do because you're juggling family commitments and you're just not sure that you're cut out for it, that's absolutely fine. Do my second step of finding something that you're passionate about and go find a job that is gonna satisfy that for you. Okay, but if you are wanting to build this business and you know it's for you and you're just as insane as I am and the rest of us, then these are the 5 things that I think will help you along your way. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful for you. Hopefully you learned something in here. And by the way, if you are on that stage of your journey and you want to shorten the learning curve, we can work together on a personal basis. With my team and myself, we're not cheap, but that's because we're the best. And if you want to get this business going in the right direction very quick to make the most of the time that you have and actually get your business launched in months as opposed to years and scale it to 6 and 7 figures as quick as humanly possible, I think we're the right team to help you, and we can determine that. There's a link in the description box in the top comment to a page that gives a bit of information on our coaching and the chance to book a call with someone on my team to see if our coaching would in fact be a good fit, and if it is, perhaps we'll move forward. So do go ahead and check that out if that's something that would interest you. And I hope this video has been helpful. Do me a favor, hit the like button on this video. It encourages us to make more of this type of content. Leave me a comment in the comments box. Let me know what you thought of this video and which of those 5 points you found the most helpful. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the bell notification. We're putting out a couple new videos every single week, and I hope you find those helpful too. So with that, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon.